Welcome back to ADHD Whiskey. My name is Matt, and today we're going to take the two newest releases from the High West Distillery, and we're going to taste them, talk about them, and give them some scores. It might be late fall outside, but it's midwinter in this garage. Let's dig deep into these bottles of Midwinter Night Drams. But before we get too deep into these drams, let me tell you about today's video sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by our good friends over at ZBiotics. What in the world is ZBiotics? Super happy you asked. ZBiotics is the world's first pre-alcohol probiotic drink. It's genetically engineered to make your fun night tonight not turn into a bad day tomorrow. The next time you want to enjoy a few drinks, grab a ZBiotics. Shake it really good, put it down the hatch, and then drink responsibly. And then while you're having fun, guess what ZBiotics is doing? All the hard work in your stomach. When you wake up the next morning, you'll be super happy that you made the decision to drink this before you drank anything else. Because you'll be able to go about your day productively, if that's a word. If you're sick of feeling icky the day after drinking, give ZBiotics a try. They have a 100% money back guarantee, so if it doesn't work for you or if you don't like it, guess what? You're out nothing. Since it's really a no-lose situation, click on my link in the description below. Use code ADHD at checkout and you'll save 15% off your first order. And if that doesn't make you feel good, then this will. You just gotta love science. Good job, ZBiotics. Thank you to Dara and Bill from The Average Drinker for bringing these bottles from Utah to me. If you aren't subscribed to Dara, The Average Drinker, I double dare you to go subscribe. First bottle is the Midwinter Night Dram. I have Act 10 Scene 4 here, a blend of straight rye whiskeys finished in port barrels. I was gonna shoot these videos in front of a fireplace in a log cabin, but the fireplace would not light. Act 10 Scene 4, America. 10-year anniversary Midwinter Night Dram, the Encore, a blend of straight rye whiskeys finished in white port barrels. Act 1 Scene 1, America. If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended. That you have but slumbered here, while these visions did appear. Shakespeare. The Encore, the 10-year anniversary, is finished in white port barrels and comes in at 101.6 proof. And of course, Act 10 comes in at 98.6 proof, like the standard Midwinter Night Drams do each year. Double SJ, if you have to ask, you can't afford it. Just double SJs. The Act 10 seems to be a bit darker in color, where the Encore seems to be the opposite of darker in color. Going in for noses. That smells like port wine. The nose on Act 10 is just like pumping out the port wine. It's like chocolate covered cherries and lots of raisins. Schlammered, hammered, drunken raisins. To the Encore. The Encore is lighter on the nose. It's not quite as powerfully port. Very sweet though. I believe that the rye is coming through more on the white port on the Encore than it is on the Act 10. I was debating on shooting these videos together or separate, and everybody encouraged me to put the two bottles in one video to compare them, but after smelling them, I kind of wish that I shot them one at a time, because after smelling the Act 10, it's hard to smell the Encore without the Act 10 still in your nose, because once this is in your nose, who knows how long it'll take for it to go. This is more of a jelly, kind of like a nice jam, a little lady marmalade. Little lady marmalade. Little red velvet cake on the Encore. If you merged a lemon cake with a red velvet cake, it's like a red lemon velvet cake. I kind of prefer the nose on the Encore a little bit more because it kind of like has a little bit more going on. Has some more subtleties and is a bit kind of like, I don't know, more evasive. It's like evasive, but also kind of like provocative. It's in skimpy lingerie, and then you see it out of the corner of your eye, and then it just like sneaks into the next room and giggles, and you're like, what? You're playing games with me? And then it's like, well, come here, big boy. If you want to smell it, then you gotta find it. And I'm like, who you calling big boy? And I obviously know who it's talking about because I'm the only big boy in this garage. You know what I mean? Anyway, just tracking it down. I'm on the scent trail, you could say. And once I get locked onto that scent, I'm in love. I'm in love. How thou art so smart with your smells in the white port. For short period of time, thou rhyme. The Act 10 is kind of like you're in a department store spraying fragrances for your wife, and you just fill up the entire department store spraying every fragrance, and then by the time you choose a fragrance to buy for your wife, you have no idea what it smells like because all you can smell is nothing except for like alcohol and like the inside of an Uber. Encore down the hatch. Ooh, okay. I don't think I've ever tasted this before. Wow, that is very, very rye, very sweet. The wine finish is definitely there. It's so there, but I do feel like there might be a little bit of a disconnect between the rye and the white port. It's almost like you taste the rye first, and then halfway through your experience, it grinds gears, doesn't even use the clutch, just right into the second gear of white port flavors. Second sip of the Encore. Very bright up front. Lots of those typical green high rye notes that you would get on like a 95.5 rye whiskey. And then kind of a harsh transition into the white port wine, which is sweet and slightly chocolatey, but a bit bitter. It's almost like a bitter dark chocolate. Rye into bitter dark chocolate with kind of a bitter finish. Let's move to the Act 10. Act 10, Scene 4. Down the hatch, Act 10. Wow. Yeah. That is Dr. Pepper mixed with just gobs of raisins. That is raisin flavored Dr. Pepper. These Act 10 barrels must have been really wet. And by that I mean like when they empty the wine out of the barrel, they kind of like are a little bit generous with how much wine they leave in the barrel. You could say that it was an efficacious dose of red wine. Some would say that. Now going back to the nose, and I'm getting slight sulfur, little sulfur, but definite raisins, definite chocolate. The name of this whiskey is probably the best name of any whiskey as far as descriptive properties go. The finish is long lasting. It just kind of sticks around and clings and lasts for quite a while. Again, this is a great whiskey for winter. If you love the Midwinter Night Drams of past, I am sure that you will absolutely love the Act 10. It's a great port finished rye whiskey. If I was only able to have one of these bottles, which one would I choose? Definitely the Act 10. The Encore is fine. But the standard one, the Act 10, is what I have come to expect from High West when it comes to a Midwinter Night Dram. And the Encore, although good, is just a little bit different and just not quite as midwintery. It's just kind of a little bit brighter, a little bit more rye forward, and less huggy, less comforting. Tonight I have to score 2 bottles, and first of all, the Encore receives a score from me of 7.5. The Act 10 is a great port wine finished rye whiskey and receives a score from me tonight of 8.1. The Encore is different, it's good, it's a nice solid special 10-year anniversary release, and I'm sure a ton of people out there are just absolutely thrilled with it. Me, on the other hand, do I think it's good? Yeah. Is it very good? Bordering on very good. It's good to very good, right on that border. Could I live without it? Sure, I definitely could live without it. If I had to pick one of them, I would definitely pick the Act 10. But that's just me. That's just my palate, what I prefer. If you can't get your hands on an Encore, I wouldn't sweat it. This was a fun comparison. Do I wish I would have reviewed them one at a time? Kind of. But also, it's kind of neat to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You know what I mean? Knock out 2 bottles at the same time. That's going to do it for this video. Remember to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment below. Have you had these? What do you think? What do you think of the new releases from High West? And also, if you can't get your hands on these and you hate my guts, then go ahead and leave a comment below telling me how, I don't know, how great I look in a black t-shirt. Thanks again for watching. My name is Matt. This is ADHD Whiskey, and like I always say, keep your head in the clouds, but your mind on an allocated bottled treasure hunt that's happening on this channel very soon. If you missed my Bring Me to the Pappy video, I'll go ahead and put the link right there. But I'm gonna hide a bottle of allocated bourbon somewhere in the United States, maybe multiple bottles. How will I determine where in the United States I'm gonna hide the bottle? Some would think that there are obvious places, like maybe in the home state in which I live right now, or maybe in the state I grew up in, or maybe in Kentucky, because that would make sense. But I think my mind works in more mysterious ways, and I'm thinking a dart might determine where I lay thou art, how smart the bottle be buried. Sorry, I'm in the mood of Shakespeare. I cannot help it. And if you smelt it, you dealt it. Shakespeare. Romeo and Juliet. You know what I mean? Deleted scene, though. That's a deleted scene. Thou smelt it and dealt it. Thou art fart smell. Apart we are, because of the way you stunk up thy car. With one fart you did. You passed wind, and now you must pretend that you are walking and liking it because I'm driving far away from you. Chew. Bugaboo. Don't want no scrubs. Whatever. This video was terrible.